Daniel Cormier talking some trash. Can I tell you what he said, and then I want you to respond?
Sure. We're getting right to it.
I love some good trash talking. Yeah, we are.
Boy.
So this is what he said. Here we go again, Johnny boy. First off, if you did nothing wrong and were innocent, then you'd never have been suspended. You've had to stand before these people and arbitrators so many times, it's insane. So you slipped again. How many times can one man slip?
Right.
Give me your reaction to it.
My reaction is, what is my reaction to that? Can we swear on? Can we swear on this?
No,
No.
Screw Daniel Cormier.
Right.
Okay.
Screw Daniel Cormier.
You can use that word. That's
my last situation was a terrible situation. A steroid allegation type of thing. Wasn't an allegation. I did have trace amount of steroids in my body. Thank goodness USADA went through the whole process to prove my innocence. Through science, we were able to prove that there was a very trace amount of steroids in my body. One of the people said the amount of steroids in John's body was like taking a pinch of salt and throwing it into an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
But what was it doing there in the first place?
And that's something that we have no clue how it got into my body. We did everything in our power to figure out how it got into my body, where this came from. I spent thousands of dollars throughout all this testing and getting supplements tested, and we were still not able to figure out where it came from.
What would you think if you heard an athlete, you're watching TV, flipping channels, and you heard an athlete, I have no idea how the steroids got in my body?
Well, I think what you do is you look at the science. You instead of being judging and just saying, oh well, this guy's lying because he's always been a winner, and you look at the science. And USADA is a credible drug testing agency. They always have been. They've tested Lance Armstrong and just lots of great athletes, the highest level athletes throughout history, and they don't make mistakes. So the fact that I'm here back fighting is because they don't make mistakes, and I was able to be proven innocent.
Fair enough, because you're back, and I'm happy to see you back. Let me say that. Having said all of that, I mean, you got guys like Rashad Evans have called you out. You've got Daniel Cormier who has called you out. My God, before he got knocked senseless by Tito Ortiz just the other day, you had the Asian dude, Chuck Liddell, calling you out. It seems like everybody is calling you out now because their attitude is you are not what we all thought you were. They're questioning you. What do you say to that?
I think it's great, man. I think it's great. I've been able to do great things in this sport, and unfortunately, I had a hiccup with this steroid situation, and I'm grateful to be able to, that USADA came out and proved my innocence by saying, hey, this was a little bit of a misunderstanding, and it just goes to show how dominant I've been in the sport.
John, I want to talk to that for a second.
You go ahead.
You are the guy who we all saw and said, that's the highest peak anyone's ever hit.
Right.
But that's not the same thing as saying the greatest fighter ever. That dude, if you have out-of-the-ring problems and that affects your performance, Mike Tyson was once thought of that way.
Right.
Now, because of the steroid stuff, if you go out there and don't perform at the same level, they're going to say, we're going to say it. What are you feeling about that? Your place in history, what do you have to go out there and do right now?
What I have to do is I got to go out there and be exactly who I am, exactly who I've always been. I know in my spirit that I've never cheated the sport. Like I said, USADA was able to prove that it was such a trace amount that it had no effect on my performance. I've always passed every drug test.
Can you still be the best fighter in the sport?
I am the best fighter in the sport. I always have been.
Can you be as good as you ever were?
Nothing's changed. So I should perform it exactly the way that I've always. Yeah.
Do you have a bigger chip on your shoulder, you feel like, this time to kind of prove everybody wrong?
I feel like people have always wanted to kind of say, well, the reason why he's so good is because his brothers are in the NFL, or he's so good because he has really long arms, or he's so good. People's always made excuses for my success, and instead of just saying, this guy's actually really intelligent, he has a really good fight IQ, and this is what makes him a champion. I feel like I have a lot to prove. I've always had a lot to prove.